all this?
A civilised breakfast. it's all ready.
Oh, thank you, Alan, but I think we should start as we mean to go on. I can see to my own breakfast.
No, nonsense. I'll do it this morning, and you do it tomorrow. Right, well, how did you find it?
How did I find what?
Your first night under my roof, or dare I say under our roof.
Very comfortable, thank you. At least I wasn't wakened up in the middle of the night.
Oh, Carolina, I'd never do that. I mean, a promise is a promise. Your room is strictly out of bounds as far as I'm concerned.
I meant the baby, Alan.
Yes, of course you did. Yes, and an extra hour and a half in bed. At our time of life, we've earned these little luxuries.
Hey, hang on, I'm not that old yet. Speaking of luxuries, though, I better pop over to Demdike later and get some of my stuff.
Oh, don't worry, I'll do that for you.
I'd rather do it myself, Alan. Besides, I want to see how Cathy...
Cathy?
Yeah, I understand she stayed with Nick and Elsa last night.
Really? Why?
She's a lovely breakfast, Alan.
But if Cathy didn't know that you'd moved in here, I mean, how could she? We only arranged it last night.
Huh?
Caroline, are you up to something?
That was great, Kath, thanks.
We don't expect you to cook breakfast every morning, Kathy.
No, it's the least I can do. I really am grateful, you know, taking me in like this. You must be fed up with having people around all the time.
No, we're fine. We can hardly see you out on the streets, can we?
Might be able to help around the house, do a bit of babysitting, you know, give Elsa a break.
What do you want to go and do that for? Mum's been doing most of the work.
You cheeky!
Well,
I should get to work before I land you one.
Oh, yeah. As if I've still got a job.
Well, if you will go punching Christopher Tate in the mouth, what do you expect?
I wish you hadn't done that, Nick. I can't fight my own battle, as you know.
He attacked you, Kathy. I agree with Elsa. If we had our way, we'd phone the police.
I just want the matter dropped. Anyway, he didn't attack me, he just pestered me, that's all.
Pestered? Come on, Kath, I'd have called it assault.
Yeah, and you did turn up here in a bit of a state.
Look, can we just drop it? At least I don't have to go back to home farm. Not to live, anyway.
Oh, yeah, what about your job? I mean, if Kim asked me, what should I say?
Just tell her you know nothing. I'll give her a ring later.
Right. And if I turn back up here in half an hour, you'll know we're all out of a job. I'll see you.
Those flipping Tates. There's times when I wish they'd never come to Beckindale.
What's this? Finished milking already?
Oh, we don't hang around, do we, Michael?
Morning, Joe. You're a bit late, aren't you? Don't you get saucy. Surprised to see him early at all.
Oh, that's not fair. He was only ever late when he had the flu.
Drugged it off, has he?
Shh, he'll hear you. Now go on, be off with you. And do without your sarcastic comments all day.
Anything wrong? No, everything's fine. And how are you, Michael?
Oh, much better. Why don't I look it?
No, you're fine. I was beginning to wonder that this thing you call flu was a euphemism for lazy-itis. See ya.
Take the notice off him, he doesn't mean it.
Don't worry, I'm used to Joe's sense of humour by now.
You are looking a lot better, actually. Promise me you'll get a doctor next time.
Oh, I hope there won't be here next time. Anyway, you can't keep pestering doctors. I'm sorry you had to cancel your weekend in Leeds, Rachel. I hope you didn't mind.
No. It's a shame, really, because I'd like to have shown you my friends again, shown you around the university. Oh, well, there'll always be another time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Dolly.
What's the matter?
Is he...
Who?
Frank, the boss?
Oh, he's in the office. Why?
Has he said anything?
I'm not with you. What do you mean?
About me? Has he said anything?
Sorry, Nick. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Look. You know Kath's come to stay with us.
I had heard. Well?
Well, Chris came round last night, tried to force his way in. I hit him.
You did what?
In the mouth. I just wonder whether Frank had heard and wanted to fire me. What do you think?
Oh, come on. That's not fair. I don't think Frank's like that. If he was going to fire you, it would be because you hadn't done your job properly.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh, look, someone coming out. I'll see you later.
Who was that?
That was Nick in a hurry.
Did he mention Cathy?
Not especially, no.
I suppose she won't be in again today.
It's like a madhouse here.
I want you. You're late.
Look, I'm sorry, Frank. I mean, Mr. Tate.
Have you seen the state of those edges?
Edges?
Edges at the front. I'm talking about the lawn in the front of the house.
Oh, what about it?
I pay you to keep them tidy. Have you seen the state they're in? The edges are tacky, they're overgrown. Any visitor might think God only knows.
You're asking me to leave, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
Oh, you're making the edges an excuse to sack me.
Who rattled your cage?
Well, I'll tell you this much, Mr. Tate, shall I? Your Chris deserved that punch in the mouth. And another thing...
Hang on. What did you say? You punched my son in the mouth?
Yeah.
What on earth did you do that for?
Well, he came round last night. Knocking the hell out of my front door, he was. He wanted to see our Kath, but she didn't want to see him, so what else could I do?
So you landed in one? What is it with those two? Is Chris supposed to have done something?
Well, I think that's for Chris to tell you, Mr. Tate. But I won't apologise for what I did. In fact, if he comes anywhere near my sister, I'll thump him again.
Good for you, lad. To tell you the truth, Nick, I didn't think you had it in you.
You want me to leave now then, dear?
Just get on with those edges, lad, and stop behaving like a prat.
Yes.
Come on then, lad, if you want to lift.
Oh, Jack, would it be all right if I borrowed your tent?
What do you want my tent for?
Well, it's National Environment Week. We've all got to do something, so me and another couple of lads thought we'd try out camping.
Yeah, that should be a laugh, Jack. Our Mark in a tent.
Shut up, will you? Will it be all right then? We'll only for a weekend.
Yeah, OK, I'll dig it out for you.
Cheers.
Now, mind you tell Annie, I'll make sure I'm back in time for dinner.
You're not frightened of Mari, Henry?
Frightened of Annie?
Where's Henry? I'll cut his tail off.
Just opted it. Back about dinner time.
I'll give him back about dinner time. Look at this lot. It's not funny, you two.
Of course, when the new kitchens are open, we'll treble our lunchtime trade. You're aware of that, aren't you?
So you keep saying.
Well, I'm hoping to attract a better class of customer. A Woolpack in Beckendale, landlord speaking. Oh, Mr. Creswell. Monk's Brewery. Yes, Mr. Creswell, what can we do for you? Well, of course, I shall be here. I never leave my bar during licensing hours. Mrs. Bates? Yes. Oh, I see. Henry Wilkes told you about her. Yes, well, she's been living here for some time now. Well, you'll be more than welcome, Mr. Creswell. Yes, well, we'll look forward to seeing you at lunchtime. Right. And Mrs. Bates too, of course. Goodbye.
What was all that about?
Monk's Brewery. They'd like to make an inspection today.
Well, we've got nothing to hide, Alan. By the way, why did you tell them that I've been living here for quite some time?
I hope you didn't mind Henry had to tell a little white lie. You know, they do like to think of couples running their establishment.
I see. As long as Henry didn't tell them anything else, we are strictly business partners, Alan.
Yes, of course. But we do want to make a good impression, don't we? So I think it might be a good idea if you go over to Demdike and get your things before they come here.
Why the rush?
Well, in case I want to show them round. You know, a few of your personal items dotted about the place would add a certain verisimilitude to our little story.
Your little story, Alan.
Hmm. Do you know, you still haven't told me how Kathy knew that you'd moved in here before we'd actually decided. I see.
Morning, Zoe.
Morning. Here to see a cow with a split hoof.
All right.
Morning, Zoe.
Hi.
Cow's at Missile.
Thanks, I'll be in a minute. I hear you had to cancel your trip to Leeds.
Yeah, shame, really. It's too ill to go.
Well, it looks well enough now.
Oh, don't you start. I've had enough with Joe going on about him being a hypochondriac.
Did I say anything?
Do you think he is putting it on?
Well, does seem a bit of a coincidence. Every time you mention university, it goes green about the girls.
Yeah.
Morning, Dolly.
Oh, Eric, I didn't notice it was you. Oh, what's this all about then?
Bit of a cracker, what?
Well, I'll say. You didn't actually buy it like this, though, did you?
I didn't buy it at all. I told you I'd wangle a car one way or the other.
Oh, don't tell me. You bought it from Maxwell's garage.
Well, I'm doing them a small favour. Part of the deal. A free car for a spot of advertising.
Small favour? The sign's as big as the car.
Dolly, don't exaggerate.
Oh, well, as long as it suits you. At least you won't lose the car in a car park, will you?
Hello? Hello, is anybody there? Suit yourself. Who was it? They didn't say. No, but you know what I mean, Kathy. I love Alice, you know that. But I'm stuck in all the time. I never go out, morning, noon and night. I feel as if I'm stagnating. It had crossed my mind to try and catch up with my education, do evening classes or something. What do you think? Kathy?
Sorry.
I suppose you're going to have to stay out here all day again.
Don't hassle me, Frank. What else can I do? Kathy's not in. The horses have to be exercised. I can't call on Joe Sugden all the time.
Any news from her?
She did ring. I'll give her that. You know who's to blame for all this, don't you?
What went wrong the other night? I mean, why did she walk out?
Oh, search me. I'm as wise as you are. What are you grinning at?
Did you know that young Nick Bates smacked him in the mouth?
No. What for?
Apparently.
I'm just off. If anyone phones, can you take a message?
Who's anybody? Kathy?
I doubt if she's likely to ring. See you.
What's wrong with your lip? Accident?
Don't try and be smart, Dad. I'm not in the mood.
That was a bit uncalled for, wasn't it?
Oh, come on, I'm only teasing him.
Frank, he doesn't need it right now.
No, I suppose you're right. I just wish he'd talk to us.
He will. Just give him time.
Yeah.
Why are you two standing there? Haven't you anything better to do?
Well, Jack's going to give me a hand with the stair carpet before somebody trips on it.
Doesn't take two of you. Get on with it.
Oh, Henry. You're back then?
Hi, I'm back. What's it look like? Out up?
No, not wrong. Well, better see to this stair carpet then.
Yep.
Right. What's for dinner? I'm fair famished.
Fair famished, are you, Henry?
Not wrong.
Guess where I found those? And guess where I found those? And guess who's been smoking his pipe in bed, in spite of the fact I asked him not to for fear of burning the house down?
Oh. I suppose it's living with Amos all these years. Two crusty old bachelors together, so to speak. We were, well, more easygoing.
Easygoing? All of this makes twice as much work for me. There's a sink there for dirty pots, there's a laundry basket for dirty socks, and there's a yard for people who smoke pipes.
I'm very sorry, Annie. It won't happen again. I promise you that.
Joe, Jack, come in here. Honestly, you're like a couple of schoolboys. Have you nothing better to do than listen at keyholes?
Sorry, Ma.
What, is that what she said?
All right, keep your hair on.
No, let's just get this straight. Zoe said she thought my flu was a put-up job, so I didn't have to go to Leeds.
Michael, you're so touchy. She was only joking.
You don't believe her, do you?
I suppose not. I suppose it's just a coincidence that every time I mention the word university, you go all pale and come over all funny.
Hey, just watch it. Don't worry, I'm only putting it on.
Oh, you! I'm gonna get you.
All right, Charlie, there's no need to shout. I thought it was a good idea, that's all. And a spot of advertising for the market too, remember? Yes, okay, Charlie. But don't ask me for any favours in the future.
Thank you for calling, Mr. Kay. Mr. Creswell. Oh, I do hope your impressions have been favourable.
Bye, Mr. Kay. Bye, Mr. Cresswell.
Bigwigs, are they?
They're from Ephraim Monks. We're keeping our fingers crossed they're going to be supplying us with beer again.
Well, that should please a few of the locals. Alan shouldn't have changed in the first place, though.
That was a very successful meeting, Eric. If I played my cards right, we should be serving Monk's beers very soon.
Well, if the way that we're chatting up Caroline is anything to go by, you'll be serving it tonight.
Yes, she's a very remarkable girl, Caroline Bates. Gentle and self-effacing, but with the constitution of an ox. I'm a very lucky man.
She's moved in, she was telling me. You're a jammy devil, Turner.
No, it's not like that this time. I've learnt my lesson. Mrs. Bates will be safely down at one end of the corridor and I'll be at the other.
Yeah. Well, I wish my luck had changed, I could tell you.
Well, it can't be all bad, can it?
It can be. Someone's told Aindar about my car. I've got to get rid of it, PDQ.
Well, it is a bit of an eyesore, old chap. Does that mean cadging lifts again?
Yeah, afraid so. Until I can get some more money, of course. Right, better be off. Bye, Alan. Bye, Caroline.
Bye, Eric.
So this is where you are.
I do wish you'd learned to knock, Dad. This is my part of the house.
I suppose you know that I'm having to do everything downstairs. This business doesn't run itself, you know.
I'm entitled to some time off. The reason Kathy left was because I was working every hour God sent.
Is it? Is that really the reason why she left?
What's that supposed to mean?
I was talking to Nick this morning. He seemed to hint that something went on here the other night.
Listen, I've told you why she left. Now let's leave it at that, shall we? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to have a bath and get changed.
Going out?
It's no business of yours. Or do you wish to run my social life as well?
You've been a bloody fool, Chris. You're mad if you let that girl just walk out.
There are other girls, Dad. Plenty of them, actually.
You'll never learn, will you?
Kathy's not making the tea again, is she?
Leave her, she's happy. Takes her mind off things. She was out with the baby for hours this afternoon.
So what have you been doing then?
Studying these. Got them from Houghton Library.
Evening classes? It's too late for evening classes.
What, I'm past it, you mean?
No, it's just that September's the time to enrol for these things. You're being a bit ambitious, aren't you?
Ambitious? I only want to try and catch up on my education, Nick. I had to leave school early, remember? I had to go and work on the farm, didn't I?
Well, I just don't see the point, that's all. I mean, you're a mother now.
Oh, thanks. Just because we have Alice, I'm expected to stay here forevermore.
No, it's just that the evenings are the only time that we have together.
Right. Forget it. I was only trying to better myself. But I mustn't get ideas above my station, must I?
All right, look. I'm sorry, Elsa. I was being a bit selfish. Do you want me to have a word with my dad, then? He's a teacher. He might be able to give you some advice.
Thought you didn't get on that well with him. Wasn't that why he didn't come to the christening?
Well, not really, no. I mean, I told him, but he was tied up.
You don't really want to bother him, though, do you?
Look, do you want me to have a word with him or not?
Would you? Would you really?
Yeah. Ooh.
212, please, Jack.
Jane.
Thanks.
Listen, how is Kathy? We're all worried about her, you know.
She's not so bad, considering. It's Chris I want to see. He's got some explaining to do.
Explaining? I wouldn't give him a chance. I'd just belt him one.
Jack, just stay out of it. It's nothing to do with us. Besides, we've all had lovers' tiffs.
Between you and me, Jack, this was a bit more than a tiff.
Do you think I ought to go round?
Oh, would you? I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Mr. Creswell, I cannot tell you how thrilled we'll be. And Mrs. Bates will be... I'm sorry? Mrs. Bates? Oh, yes, she is delightful, isn't she? Yes. Well, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Creswell. Thank you. Goodbye.
What's happened?
Monk's Brewery. You certainly made a hit there.
Don't flannel, Anna. What did they say?
As from next week, we will be serving Monk's best bitter beer, and we can tell Skipdale breweries where they can stick theirs.
Oh, that is marvellous.
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's great. He's got a damn nerve, walking in here.
Are you sure you don't mind us going out, Kath?
No, of course I don't. I'm perfectly happy here. Aren't we, Alice?
Well, look, we'll only have one drink and then we'll be home. Lock the door.
Look, I'm not scared of Chris, you know. We did have some good times together. Now go on, get going, the pair of you.
See you.
Bye. Have a good time.
Champagne, 2 glasses, please, Al.
Bit of a stunner, eh?
Look after me, beer, will you, Joe? Got some business to attend to.
Jack, just leave it.
I'm just going round to see Kathy. Evening, Jack.
You didn't tell him that.
I did. I said, Zoe thinks your illness is a big put-up job.
And what did he say?
Well, he denied it.
Well, he would, wouldn't he? He might not even be aware of it himself.
What, you mean one of those psychosomatics?
Exactly. If someone's craving attention, think they're being ignored, they often fake illness, sometimes without even realising they're faking it.
Yeah, I understand all that. But I mean, whose attention is Michael trying to seek anyway?
Oh, come on, Dumbo, yours.
But he's got my undivided attention. I only want to take him to Leeds to show him where I'm going to be studying.
Right, but don't you see, he doesn't want you to go to Leeds. He doesn't want you to go to university at all, I shouldn't be surprised. He wants you here, in Beckendale, where he can keep an eye on you. Becco?
Guess who's in bar with a well-set-up piece on his arm?
Don't tell me, Richard Gere.
You're not far wrong. Your brother. What's wrong with her?
I do wish everyone would stop fussing, Jack. I'm okay.
Well, we all worry about you. At least I do, love. You know that.
Yeah, I do, and I appreciate it. But I'll be okay. I've got to get through this on my own.
Do you mind me asking? What finally made you leave?
I don't mind you asking, but I'm not going to tell you. Look, Jack, it's over. I've got to settle down to a different sort of life now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you see it that way. The likes of us are not for people like the Tates, Kath.
You're a bit of a Victorian at heart, aren't you? Chris isn't that bad, Jack. Anyway, when I've had more time to think, perhaps I'll reach the conclusion that I'm as much to blame as him.
No way, love. He's as hard as nails, just like his dad. You know what he's up to right now? Bold as brass, with some dolly bird on his arm in the wool pack.
I'm surprised at you, Caroline, really.
Why, what's it done?
Well, Nick informs me that you had decided to move in here long before you told me.
Yes, well, I had to do something because of Kathy.
I was nearly on my knees to you, begging you to move in here.
Doesn't do you any harm to beg once in a while, Alan. Keeps you in your place.
Look at him, flash git. I couldn't mind to hit him again.
Just ignore him. I'm sure there's a draft in here.
Well, I don't know what all the fuss is about. I'm sure Kathy's well shut of him.
Come on, love. I think we'd better leave.
I think he got the message. Don't you?